Now, this match better be live, and there will be a couple of confirmations for all you naysayers and conspiracy theorists. Is that how you say it?
Theorists.
Theorists?
Yeah, theorists.
Well, you're going to see these builds change up a little bit. You saw that Zergling Roach build before?
Yeah.
Forget that. It's Roach Queen. That's all you're going to see, baby. That's all you're going to see. Why get Zerglings? Why get Zerglings?
We were theory crafting
range.
Today. We were
Queens
theorizing.
Queens have 5 range. Why would I ever get Zerglings?
We were theorizing. Yeah, actually, that's really true. If these replays were old, it'd be impossible to have Queens at 5 range.
Exactly,
we'll click on them. And we were theorizing like, man, why would you ever get Zerglings in TVZ nowadays? Because you can just protect really easily with Queens and just make like go 4 Queens and always have a defense for everything.
Oh man, look at that Overlord move too. That is some fast Overlord movement.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we should introduce the players, yeah?
Yeah, starting from the top left, we have the red Zerg. His ID is CrazyMoving from Team Infinity 7. And he is up against this player in the bottom right, the blue Terran. His name is Benjamin Baker. Also goes by DeMuslim from Team Evil Geniuses, currently 3-0 in his division and looking to pad his lead.
I saw him in a great video this week where a Thor came to the Evil Genius house.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, the Thor being the Thor Zane.
Yeah, congratulations to them. I mean, Thor Zane's an excellent pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, just Thor Zane's a very and it's cool because Thor Zane is so well-rounded. DeMuslim should be able to have good training with him, too, if he ever practices with them. Of course, DeMuslim has been staying at the EG house for some time, and Thor Zane did say he's going to go to Slayer's house in Korea. But nonetheless, you can tell that I mean, on Bel'Shir Beach, though, what can we really expect from DeMuslim so much? We've been seeing this map a lot, but not necessarily in the favor of Terran, have we?
No. Overall, I think this map does lend itself to Zerg, just because of the expansions, how far away everything is, the ability to be reactive. So I think Ben is... I can't believe I just did that. DeMuslim is doing it right here. Going for this expansion, you want to play more macro-heavy. Now, Hellions are great on this map, but your opponent is already going to play so defensive. I like this. This is a little theory that we always do, or Terrans do normally, especially on first games, just to try to abuse their opponent's styles, or abuse the fact that you are playing on Bel'Shir Beach. Knowing that Hellions are so good on a map like this, and Tal'Darim Altar, you'll actually go for. Yeah, man, they were so good. But,
well, it's too early to tell.
That's true. Maybe that's a direct change to his build. But normally, it's like, okay, the Zerg knows that there is some sort of Hellion build that is possible, and they're going to over-defend. And you're not going to go Hellions. Instead, you're going for something super macroeconomic, something very economic, and you just get that advantage because your opponent is doing kind of an obsolete build.
I like that a lot because you can play into the fact that the patch came out today, whether or not it was a patch or maintenance service, whatever you want to call it. Blizzard has made some changes. Now, some people may not be aware of it. Queen range is now 5. Overlord speed is now 0.59, which gives it a lot more time and just a lot more ability to scout and be defensive. Terran has no real changes, so a lot of people were expecting a bunker change, but did not actually come out.
Yeah, I wanted my 100 minerals back.
Oh, man. That was so crazy.
You quiver when I say that.
So it's the worst part. But no, we won't actually see that. Now, DeMuslim is doing a pretty standard build, a fast expansion with a follow with reactored Hellions, but it's not necessarily about the Hellions and the Queen range necessarily, but also geography of the map. It helps a lot in terms of the ramp, how wide it is, especially in Bel'Shir Beach, but also that there's no ramp between the main and natural, so that could also play a factor into DeMuslim's choice here.
Yeah, and if your opponent isn't keeping up with creep spread, there's a very likely chance that it could do amazing damage. Now, I do want to mention CrazyMoving didn't even bother defending against any sort of one-base Hellion play, even though it was well within his opponent's range. Yeah. And here we have him actually making Zerglings for the first time. He will try to clear out this third base. Of course, we know that there's nothing over there. But what he's looking for are Hellions out on the map and just making sure he's okay to take his third base. And I don't know if he's doing it right away. As you can see, he's actually, he's quad gassing? No, just triple gas.
Ooh, but DeMuslim get a couple of his Hellions caught. One of them did end up dropping, the other one on retreat. And that's actually enough information for DeMuslim to realize that CrazyMoving wasn't being too greedy. And he poked out with the first couple of Hellions and saw a huge amount of Zerglings. I think that was 14 Zerglings, and now you can see CrazyMoving would be way more ahead in drones, but he only has 40 right around now. compared to a little bit higher. In the meantime, DeMuslim's going to sit back and tech to Banshee.
Yes.
What do you think about this?
He's been doing this a lot more often these days. He loves the Hellion Banshee just to limit your opponent's creep.
Yeah.
And it's pretty efficient. You're able to take out some thirds if your opponent is trying to get too fast of a third. Just the power of Hellions plus Banshees together really makes her a pretty potent combination against any Zergling Queen combination, actually. You need a ton of, well, again, all of my data is actually from, you know, what is it, 2 range? Was it 2 range Queen?
It was a 3 range Queen.
3 range Queen.
Yeah. DeMuslim, of course, using Hellions, what they are intended to do at this point in the game, deny a third and deny creep tumor, and just keep tabs on the Zerg army. Now, Hellion Banshee was also this is kind of a variant of a build that Marine King Prime used against Downgrade multiple times throughout MLG arenas. And the idea, again, is to really contain Zerg, make them uncomfortable and unable to really push out at times that normally they would like to, at least move out into the middle of the map. And CrazyMoving is just content. He's going to stay on 2 base, tech to lair that is natural as well, which I like, you know, keeping it a little bit more fortified.
Yeah, I think that's overall a better decision. The main is normally a huge point of contest. So just make your lair and your hive at the most convenient and the safest place possible. That way he's not susceptible to drops that can potentially kill out a hive. That would be dramatic and devastating. CrazyMoving is putting down a macro hatch. I do want to mention real quick that Mr. Baker over here, DeMuslim, is going for a super economic build. He has gotten for his 3rd orbital command center already, and he's putting down additional barracks right now. Why is it so late? Because he got his 1-1, so this is geared up for a 2-2 timing. This is so far into the future, but what you're trying to do is actually snipe 4th bases. And as I said, that's really far in. The difference is he's showing that he wants to be super aggressive. So just based on this, I think CrazyMoving will be slightly behind in terms of the 3rd. And it'll give him the economic, it'll give the DeMuslim the economic lead.
Yeah, because obviously Zerg would like to get that 3rd as they're teching in the process, whether it be Spire, Infestation Pit, whatever they do. But the 3rd is completely exposed here. In fact, CrazyMove is not paying attention to that 3rd, and he's going to try to see if he can defend immediately, but the Banshees are also positioned. The Queens also want to get in good position, but good micro from DeMuslim thus far to really make sure to get efficiency out of his units.
Wow, he gets rid of that hatchery. It was not canceled.
Oh, it wasn't?
And a single Banshee actually goes down. A little bit unfortunate for DeMuslim. Oh, DeMuslim, get out of here. You don't want to stay too long. But look at this. DeMuslim has made a lot of different assumptions, but he basically said my opponent isn't going to do a Roach, Baneling, Zergling all in based on the style I've gone. I've shown Banshee. It's really, really silly, or at least he's showing that it's really silly to go something like a Roach, Zergling, Baneling all in because the Banshees would easily intercept everything. So he's using that knowledge to really invest in all of his core upgrades. And once he's able to do that, he's either even with his opponent or ahead of his opponent. And again, with 2-2, he will be able to equalize things out. Your opponent can't have 3-3 at that time, and that's a great timing to hit because you've been investing so heavily into your economy.
Now, the big thing is that CrazyMoving knows that DeMuslim isn't moving out for a 3rd just yet. DeMuslim, of course, getting that slew of upgrades, really trying to still harass with that Banshee in the top center. And CrazyMoving is double expanding. Now, actually, I kind of like that move. Just being able to get his economy because his 3rd is pretty delayed. And as long as he can get that surge of units really to defend it, he should be okay. But it's all about whether or not this timing from DeMuslim is going to be that effective. He's lining up 2-2, just like you said, getting siege mode and +1 also. So this attack is going to be absolutely savage if DeMuslim can push out at the right time.
One thing that DeMuslim could have done, he went very, very Marine heavy in this early game stage. I think he could have actually went for an earlier 3rd and gotten Siege Tank a little bit sooner. And with that, oh, he's actually going for this expansion. Oh my god, did he really just burrow his queen?
Yeah, he did. In fact, there's another Zergling. And in fact, it's a trap! The Zerglings come in with the Fungals, but just as soon as they get in, they also leave. I think CrazyMoving realized he does not want to get in that position, doesn't want to lose his Infestors, but does land a goodbye Fungal as a leaving present. You can see DeMuslim is just going to fall back and take his 3rd in a good position, but yeah. That was a really interesting move. I don't usually see them burrow the queen. In fact, do you think CrazyMoving's queen was meant to be there?
No.
It was a runaway queen.
Yeah, it was a runaway queen.
Having
unfortunate.
flashbacks when I was 17, man, running away. But we do see that CrazyMoving has a lot more infestors this time, but he doesn't have as much energy as he'd like. He's trying to cut the 2-2 timing from ever happening, but he's losing a lot of infestors. DeMuslim has such a strong supply advantage. My goodness, this is definitely the tale of a delayed third really affecting Zerg's supply here.
And you can see that it actually affects him a lot more in that he doesn't have an infestor count where he can constantly fungal growth his opponent's army and constantly stop him from moving up and being that aggressor. 2-2 is about to hit here. And we have 3 infestors on the field, a couple popping out. Those are the ones that will have energy, but what are you going to do with 4 fungals at this point? You don't really have capacity to break a huge contain like this.
Yeah, I mean, CrazyMoving doesn't really have good position whatsoever. No, his infestors are getting out of position as well within range of the siege tank, and a couple drop. Each infestor that dies is another lost opportunity to really hold this attack from DeMuslim. And the bad news is that DeMuslim only gets stronger from this point, just because his siege tank keeps his siege tank count keeps increasing, and his positioning gets stronger, and there's going to be harder and harder to break. So CrazyMoving's got to do something, or I mean, at this point, he can't really defend this base in the top center.
Yeah, I would say actually get rid of it. Don't even worry. Yes, he gets a beautiful position, but do something that forces his opponent to get out of a great position. Right now, there is still creep here, so go for the back attack. Try to do something about it, but I think trying to go into this, it's futile. There it is, GG.
GG.
CrazyMoving will fall. DeMuslim takes it after a very well executed build. As we were talking about, DeMuslim did a couple of risks there. They were pretty safe risks, I might add, too. So I guess they weren't too risky.
The third while taking a Banshee?
The going Hellion Banshee, that basically says I'm not going against some sort of Roach Zerg and Baneling all in because I've showed Banshee. And then after that, you just tech to your third base. You're good to go. Obviously, your economy's roaring. It stopped his opponent's third for so long. He also killed that third hatchery. That was pretty clutch.
That was probably the defining moment of the game, being able to deny the Zerg's third. But CrazyMoving has another opportunity. He does have map choice, and we'll find out what it is after this. But we want to thank our sponsor of that match, Epson, for providing the projectors for NASL Season 3. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. CrazyMoving. We'll see if he's able to complete the comeback against one of division leaders, DeMuslim, right after this.